We recently released a podcast episode with Chris Jones, ex-England rugby international. On the pitch, Chris was a senior player and key decision maker. Chris was a key member of successful Premiership winning squads and capped for England. Following his playing days, Chris is still involved in coaching and mentoring young players. In his professional career, Chris has moved outside the sector. And during the episode, Chris speaks to me and Paul about being offered his first professional contract, the transition from his playing days to his new career, the impact physical activity has on mood, sleep and health, and what great leaders did in high pressure situations. Here's some of the best bits from the episode, which you can find on your podcast app and YouTube.
Is there a support structure in place now to kind of really ensure that when people leave that professional rugby career, they are actually supported into those new roles?
Is there? Yes, is the quick brushstroke answer. Is it where it needs to be? I don't think it is. Obviously my experience is very different. I slipped through the nets, so the RPA are meant to have an alumni when you retire. Somehow I dropped through that net and went to the wilderness. It was only once I found my career and kind of came back onto the scene, suddenly they said, did you know that there's an alumni, with the RPA? Clive Woodward was one of the ones that stood out, and I think he was a general overall leader where he led the coaches who led us kind of thing, and he installed ethoses and that kind of stuff in through the team. Quite often in those changing rooms, it's about letting people be themselves. So you tend to have a group of people who might slap each other in the face, and that's how they get psyched up. A few people who want to take things easy and laugh and joke in a corner, and another group of people who are just quiet and want to have their own space. So I think as some of these great coaches, you let people have their moment, have their own process to go through, and then the real leaders just bring people together just before you go out and say, right, you've all had your own time, you've all had your own warm up and mental prep. Right, let's bring you together now and let's unify what we're going to do. And again, it's was it Dave Aldred? Was it England? He was a mental coach, and he said, right, before your game, write down. It was just 3 things you're going to do, 3 things, and that's it for the game. And he said at halftime it should be the same, 3 things, because you say any more, you can't take all that on board. And also challenges. It's very easy for people to get a knock and think, oh, that didn't go right. But every week with rugby, you'd get an analysis, and there's some stuff you do brilliant. There's some stuff that you wouldn't do as well. And that doesn't really faze me. So if something's not gone right, I'll pick it up, I'll learn from it, and then I won't make that mistake again. So it's really not worrying about the downsides, it's just learning from them.